warriors need to understand the types of traumatic events that they experience in combat are not normal events, and each warrior is going to have a different reaction to the events that they're experiencing.
Nobody goes into combat and comes out unaffected. Nobody. Everybody's changed. Everybody has some experience. Everybody has something that happens. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from a stressful experience. Being resilient does not mean that you will never experience stress. Being resilient means that you deal with stress and address it in a very proactive and upfront manner. And leaders can do an incredible amount to promote resilience.
My psychological health, I didn't think it was an issue when I came home, but I think I was the last person to notice it.
I think it takes quite a bit of strength in order to admit that you have an issue, but it's very important for leaders and fellow soldiers to be able to identify and refer or direct a person to seek help.
Sergeant McCarthy basically said, "What's going on?" And I said, "I'm really struggling. I have no control over anything right now. The nightmares are back, and I'm drinking a bottle of wine in the evening just to get to sleep." And he said, "Well, why don't you just come in and talk to us?" He said, "Talk to First Sergeant. He's been deployed himself. He knows what it's like to be going through some of these things." And, you know, I came in and First Sergeant sat me down and we talked. And he was okay with that.
I have all the respect for her in the world. And that goes for all the rest of my soldiers that are in this unit. I came back from Iraq and I had PTSD too. And that's how I know the symptoms of what Sergeant Krause is going through. You have to talk about it, because if you hold it in, your life just gets miserable.
One of the most natural things that we do as human beings is say, "Oh, it'll be okay," or "It'll go away," or "I'll be all right. I'll suck it up and keep going." And that's not necessarily what we want people to do. We want people to say, "I need to deal with this, and I need to deal with it now."
Finally came to the point where I realized that I had to have help. I couldn't sleep. All I think about is these negative thoughts. I pushed my family away. I basically had all I could handle. And my CO approached me just like any other Marine. He goes, "What's bothering you?" He knew something was up. And I told him, I said, "I'm about to lose it, sir."
The CO actually personally picked up the phone and lined up a month-long inpatient treatment in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
I haven't thought any different of him. As a matter of fact, I actually respect him and trust him more now because of the fact that he had a problem, he had an issue. He brought it to me. Together we figured it out. We fixed it, and he's as good or better Marine now and in the future.
I think warriors are hesitant to seek treatment for invisible wounds because they fear that it will affect their career, and that's a myth. And in fact, the opposite is true. If you don't seek help, it is going to affect your career, because 6 months from now, 3 months from now, whatever, your symptoms are going to impair your ability to function and perform well.
I wasn't about to go to behavioral health. In my mind, that was the death of my career. It wasn't until Colonel Pinnell noticed, and he helped me find the right program.
I called directly over to mental health. I saw them and I told them, if you're not able to help him immediately, if you are not capable of making this happen here, then you need to call me immediately. If he's non-cooperative or doesn't show up, contact me immediately. I will be involved in this until we get him to the person or place that we need.
And believe it or not, about 100 pounds of weight came off of me right then. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. And it helped us. I don't believe that it will wreck your career like I did in the beginning. And I'm starting to see it at the higher levels of command. They're understanding, wow, we owe these guys a chance to heal. So don't be afraid to come forward if you have trouble.
Reaching out is a sign of strength. And everybody should feel comfortable reaching out to their command, to their friends, to their family members, to the medical community, to anyone in order to get the help that they need when they need it. It's also important for leadership, for commands, and especially junior level leaders, company level, division, department, the lowest possible levels of leadership, to be very supportive in helping their members get the help that they need.
Everybody experiences emotional distress. Everybody has a breaking point. I had seasoned squad leaders come up to me in tears. They had deployed before, a heavy combat, and an IED hit us on our current deployment, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back for that squad leader. A seasoned guy, 35 plus years old, been in the Army probably 15, 16 years. And he was a hard charger type guy, not the kind of guy you would think would break down. But I looked at him and said, hey, brother, you know, I put my hand on his shoulder and said, hey, let's just go get you to talk to emotional health over here, and we'll get this all worked out. You know, and on top of that, I also talked to my platoon and said, I don't want to hear any crap coming out of your mouths about this guy.
I don't think people realize sometimes the incredible amount of stress that our service members and our junior service members undergo on a daily basis. And the leaders actively helping them learn how to cope and deal and address those stresses is critically important.
And I told myself that I can't be an effective leader if I'm not taking care of myself first. So I self-referred to the mental health clinic here, and when the psychologist did diagnose me with PTSD, it was such a sense of relief, because finally there was a reason for why I was feeling this way, and it was like a weight was lifted, and I knew that, okay, now I can get the treatment that I need.
The thing that we want to have happen is that people are actively learning and growing and developing from whatever experience they have. And even if it's bad, and even if there are horrible things that happen, that you come out of it as a stronger person if possible. But we need to actively deal with that, and that's the important thing regarding resilience, is actively coping and dealing with whatever experience you have in a combat theater.
I think our soldiers should know that they don't have to go it alone, and that they can't go it alone, because everything that you lived and experienced was done with your teammates. Every day. Don't come home and be alone. Come home and reach out to those teammates and reach out to those networks of providers that we're given, and share your story and put your story in context so that you truly understand what it is that you went through and why you're feeling what you're feeling.